some minutes, and it's one of those where if the Saddlers can start strong, start brightly, dampen the mood inside Holm Park, could be a good evening for the Saddlers.
I just wonder whether they feel that he's better for these sort of conditions, with the surface as well, than DJ, whether the wear and tear on his legs is a bit less. It's Walsall to get us underway, kicking from right to left. There's a cheer after that, a quiet moment of anticipation, and it's the visitors who fire it over towards the far side at the pace of Tom Knowles. Exchanges passes with McKenty up towards the corner of the penalty area, tries to get a cross in towards James Taylor, and it's cleared as far as Sturk, the little left footer, out towards Gordon down the touchline for Isaac Hutchinson, who is the leading goal scorer on the pitch for Walsall today, with half a dozen. Freddie Draper up around that mark as well, and a ball forward from Donovan Daniels. And see the amount of skid that you might just get on this pitch. Won't always roll true. At times you'll get a little bobble, but it doesn't look too bad at first impression. Referee all in black, wearing a poppy in the centre of his shirt, red and white stripes, black shorts and red socks for Sheppey. They throw it down the line, attempt to get that flicked on. Won't come off Wisson. Walsall up towards the edge of the penalty area. Wisson leaves it for his teammate to clear up towards Bradshaw. Poked away from him. Headed back up towards halfway by Morgan. A bit untidy for a moment. Cagbay finds Tierney. Good control by McKenty. Looking out on the right-hand side for Knowles. Ball forward was blocked once, blocked twice, and the home side will try and carry it away. Lambert turns it out on the far side, and it's cleared further forward by Wilkins. Interception on halfway. Sliding in is Cagbay. Out to this left, and Hutchinson playing on the left of a three behind the striker, although naturally a right footer, and he looks to sweep the ball towards the far side. Cut out on the volley by Morgan, he just gets rid first time. A little flick on by Wisson, and there might be a bit of space here for the pace of Leonard. Danny Leonard down the right hand side, everybody on their feet as he approaches the penalty area. Across comes a Walsall defender, and it's out of play for a throw, but the pace there of Danny Leonard, who's returned to this club after a year away playing National League football. He's shown there that he's a threat on the break.
Yeah, and it was one of those where he just knocked it past Donovan Daniels, and fortunately we had a Cagbay covering for the Saddlers there, but it's a really good glimpse from the home side there as what they can do on the break.
Our view of that particular corner of the ground is blocked off. It looks like it might be a corner rather than a throw. No, it's going to be a throw because somebody's coming short. It is a little bit difficult because you've got the fans in front of the clubhouse who are leaning on the rail there, and they're here in such good number. It's all part of the atmosphere. This will almost certainly be a new club record crowd, which is just under 1,300. We're expecting about 1,400 today, as Donovan Daniels has wanted to shepherd it out by the byline, and he can't, and concedes the first corner of the game for Sheppey United in the third minute.
I mean, you look at the fans behind that goal there. We speak about struggling to see the corner, but it's fantastic to see so many fans behind that goal there, and it's a great occasion for this football club, and they've started brightly.
Yeah, if one person moves, the rest are going to move with them. That's for sure. Corner on the right-hand side. It's deep towards the far post. And Owen Evans, it just dies in the breeze a little bit. And it is quite a breezy ground. It's so open from here out towards the Thames Estuary. Also look over the top here for Douglas James Taylor, but the ball again goes very quickly through to the keeper. Has to come outside his area though. And Aidan Prohl clears long downfield. And again, it might hold up before it gets to the penalty area. Donovan Daniels is forced to play it and creates an angle to get it back to Owen Evans. This is all part of adjusting and adapting to the surface that they're playing on tonight. The diagonal looking for Hutchinson. That's going to be cut out on the volley by Diallo, the right back, intercepted by Sturk. He finds Hutchinson down this left-hand side. Hutchinson looking to angle it into the penalty area. It dies. It was miscontrolled, and in the end, it's quite grateful to get it clear there is Wilkins. Also with most of the ball, but we have seen that pace on the flanks that the home side have on both sides. Donovan Daniels just on halfway to the near side, and Liam Gordon. Gordon back to his captain. Forward for Sturk. Daniels short again for Sturk, who will be pretty much the quarterback at times for this side. Left footer, probably about 5'9", 5'10", sturdy character. A couple of goals this season already for the Saddlers. Hutchinson back to halfway and Cagbay. Out towards the far side, and Joe Riley. Riley back to his captain. Just happy to maintain possession here, getting some good touches. And Daniels comes forward. He's only about 35 yards out now, looking for runners. Tries to float it through towards McKenty, but that's got too much on it. Good run off the ball by McKenty, and the Saddlers at the moment very calm in possession.
Yeah, it's one of those, McKenty, I think, where we've seen on a number of occasions so far this season that he can make those advancing runs, and it makes a bit of a difference having him, because he offers something completely different to what the other midfielders that we've got at the football club, and he has that bit of stature, that bit of mobility, that bit of physicality in there as well, and I think we've missed him when he's been injured.
6 minutes, Sheppey United 0, Walsall 0 on BBC Radio WM, BBC Sounds and 5 Sports Extra. Throw on the left-hand side for the home side to be taken by Frankie Morgan. He's been here a couple of years now. A lot of these players have been at other clubs in Kent. So you get in non-league circles, moving from club to club. As Walsall clear their lines deep into the home side's half. Wilkins allows it to go through to his goalkeeper. Wilkins, who was one of those players that gets talked about in the media because of his day job. He's a scaffolder, does 12-hour days, and then the real release for him is playing football. Doubt he's been on the scaffolding today, mind you.
I don't know, there's quite a few of them who showed up with only an hour and 15 to spare or so they could all have been working today, and that's something I would expect.
So some of them, I'm not sure he'd be on the scaffold today, but there you go. Hutchinson down on the left-hand side for McKenty towards the byline. Gordon is there in support, does well to get it back towards the corner of the box, and Hutchinson thinks about a little chop back, but in the end he continues his run. He's 30 yards out in central, closed down well, but has support on the right-hand side. Low cross from Tierney, didn't really get any power on it, and it's cleared long downfield. Daniels has to judge that well. Bradshaw was gambling in behind him, and then strength from Daniels to hold off the striker. And he gets it back to his keeper. And Owen Evans is able to clear it downfield. Ball over the top on the right-hand side, looking for Tierney. It's interesting, the mix and match so far from Matt Sadler's side, Tommy, that we've seen them maintain possession, but we've also seen them look to play the long ball. They haven't executed it well, but a bit of variety. Yeah,
and I think they've just got to get to grips with maybe the bounce of the ball, if they're going long, the wind as well. It's quite swirly out there when you're out there on the pitch, and I think, the Saddlers can play both sides.
Now it's Douglas James Taylor on the edge of the penalty area, holds off his man, shot takes deflection and behind for a corner. It was very simply played through to him. Good touch from Douglas James Taylor, and the defender does well to squirt that behind, but a first set piece for the visitors.
Having watched Sheppey's games in the last couple of weeks, you will have seen that their two centre-halves do tend to drift wide of each other, and if you can get that ball into the central striker of Douglas James Taylor or Ross Tierney at some point or another, they will get joy from that sort of situation.
Corner over on the far side, the Walsall right to be taken by Ryan Sturck. Gets plenty of air on it. McKenty tries to get ahead to it and thunders his header wide. Did well to hold off his man and got plenty of power on it, but he's planted it, a yard and a half wide of Prawl's left-hand post. Presentable opportunity for Walsall. 2 attempts at goal, but it remains 0-0. As Gordon looks down the left-hand side for Hutchinson. Steered infield for Douglas James Taylor. Has a good look round at his options. Finds Sturck. Sturck for Tierney. Tierney with a long-range shot, and that's about a yard and a half wide of the other post. 3 attempts at goal in about 60 seconds from the Saddlers, who are starting to find a little bit of rhythm. Yeah,
it was a good ball down the line from Liam Gordon there into the feet of Isaac Hutchinson, who did well to find Douglas James Taylor in a little bit of space inside, and that's good from Douglas. His link-up play is getting much better, and just created an opportunity for Ross Tierney, and it's not too far away, like you say, Richard.
As they look to pass out from defence here, the home side, they turn it out of play. 8th tier of football, 4th tier of non-league football, and yet you still have this modern tendency of goalkeeper and 2 defenders on the edge of the 6-yard box for a goal kick situation. Fascinating how these things, when they're tried at higher levels, filter down and everybody feels like they ought to have a go at it. Hutchinson out towards the far side, had just enough on that. Touched in field first time by Riley. Gets it back from Knowles. And now here's Riley looking to thread it forward. Hutchinson getting himself turned, tries to play a 1-2 with James Taylor. Wilkins gets back with Hamill to just cut off the route. And out towards the far side, and Morgan, the left back for Sheppey United. Awkward bouncing ball that Daniels has to deal with. It holds up on the second bounce, and you can see that Bradshaw knows this pitch well. in that he knows that the bounce may not be quite true. But the first bounce is quite a normal bounce. Second bounce tends to come back at you. As Walsall again go long ball down the right-hand side this time, and he's dragged back towards James Taylor. It's a good save. Diving to his right from Prawl. The run from McKenty gets towards the byline. The cross was deflected back to Douglas James Taylor. He tries to shoot it through Connor Wilkins, and the keeper has to make a stop. That's a good move down the right from Walsall.
It was, and it's a fantastic advancing run from Oisin McKenty there, and I actually thought the ball was going to get away from him and seen it just skip up off the surface, but he does really well to judge the second bounce of the ball, and the little pass back, towards the edge of the 6-yard box, towards the penalty spot. It's a really good move from the Saddlers, and James Taylor's unlucky. It's a great bit of defending in the end, though.
They've got to make this sharp start pay, haven't they? That's what 4 attempts at goal we've seen from the Saddlers. The one break down the right and a couple of set pieces for Sheppey. And again, you do see the signs that they know the surface better. And here's Bradshaw on the right-hand side. Played a rather heavy pass there to Leonard. Also scrapping to try and win it back. Bradshaw has it lifted away from him by Gordon. James Taylor will scrap underneath the ball with Wilkins, and he's able to hold it up, looking for Hutchinson coming in support. It's very tight down the left-hand side. Tackle on Hutchinson, ricochets back his way, and Douglas James Taylor with a shot that's blocked by the feet of the keeper this time. Comes out to McKenty. And now Riley opens it up on the right-hand side for Knowles. Knowles looks to get past Morgan. Morgan does well, and his clearance evades Riley. Picked up instead by a Cagbay. He looks early into the penalty area, and that's a loose ball. Goes through the goalkeeper. But another opening and forcing a save. James Taylor blocked this time by the legs of Aidan Prawl, who's made a good start to the game. Yeah,
and like you said just moments ago, Richard, it's all about making these early chances count. You don't know how many clear-cut you're going to get, and it's another one for Douglas James Taylor. He's got to score with one of these.
Prawl, a 25-year-old goalkeeper, one of a number of players in this Sheppey United team who previously were at Corinthian. He's already had to make a couple of reasonably sharp saves here. As Riley can't control the return pass of a 1-2. Sturt won it back, but the challenge on him delayed his progress forward. Now an interception from Daniels for Walsall. 0-0 in the 12th minute. As Walsall again are patient. Sheppey United looking to hold their shape. As Gordon rolls it across the centre circle for Riley. To the left-hand side. And Daniels looking further out towards the touchline, and Hutchinson, he's been busy already. Sturck again on the edge of the centre circle, once more looks left. This time it's Liam Gordon. Gordon infield to Hutchinson near the corner of the penalty area. Hutchinson again has a look round, aware of his options, decides that safety first is back to Sturck. And Sturck to Gordon once more, afforded a bit of space to maybe get a cross in, away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Wilkins. And then Bradshaw will try and hold it up, but Cagbay flicks the ball away from him. Dealt with on the edge of the penalty area by Sheppey. And now Liam Gordon has to tidy up on halfway for Walsall, who continue to probe the away side. In the opening match of the first round proper of the FA Cup, Barnsley and Horsham also in action, kicking off at the same time. As Daniels looks long out towards the far side, and Knowles, well judged by the left-back, Frankie Morgan. It's a good cheer from the home fans for just backpedaling and making sure he got the flight of that ball right. And now Cagbay short for McKenty, square and Sturck. Sturck 15 yards inside the Sheppey half, carries it a bit further before finding Hutchinson on the half turn. Good piece of defending there from Hamill, the home side's captain, and now he's going to bump into Donovan Daniels and concede a free kick. Hamill, who doesn't protest, he just looks away sheepishly. He knew that he was just beaten there by the pace of Daniels. Sturck, though, is giving it straight back to the home side. Whiston in field, laid out to the left-hand side by Lambert. Chance for Bessie Saldana to show his pace. Morgan joins in, looking to get an early cross in, and that'll be blocked behind, and it'll be another corner for Sheppey. Yeah,
it's, they move the ball quickly when they do get it. They want to try and get it out to their wide players. They're identified by the group as being the danger men in this side, and they've shown so far that they can get in behind the Saddlers there. And that early cross is just trying to find Bradshaw in the box, but takes the ricochet, and now it's a corner, and it's a fantastic opportunity for them to get the ball in the box.
Tall defender Likan Majoyegbe is in there. Donovan Daniels is picking him up height for height, really, but that's a good jump from Knowles to win the header from the corner, and now James Taylor looks to show a bit of pace going on the outside of Hamill. Angle ball forward. He wanted to pick out Tierney. There's too much on it. So across comes Wilkins to clear it downfield. Gordon with good chest control, awkward bouncing ball, finds Hutchinson just in from the near touchline. He and Gordon have a brief discussion about what to do with the ball. He gets it back, Hutchinson, from Donovan Daniels, and then a rapier-like ball out towards the far side, which Morgan has miscontrolled. Riley decides to let it roll out of play for a throw. They want to get the ball clearly out towards Knowles to try and use his pace against Morgan. That's shaping up to be one of the better individual battles in this game, Tom.
Yeah, it is, and I think we've seen, Isaac Hutchinson's been involved an awful lot at this moment in time, and he's, a fantastic carrier of the ball, and if you can get him on it to try and, make the team play, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. But the Saddlers, going long, it's just not working at the moment, and I think they need to, play the ball on the floor, because that's where we seem to be getting the joy.
Also won it back after a miscued throw by Frankie Morgan, which went considerably higher than it went far, but they gave it away cheaply, the Saddlers, and they have to turn it back towards their goalkeeper, Owen Evans. Bradshaw will close him down, but Evans just rolls it out on the far side for Akagbue, who's settled pretty well into this game, the loanee from Stoke. Hasn't seen a lot of football so far. Started the game at Salford and lasted the half there, but did play last week at Mansfield.
Yeah, I thought it was impressive away at Mansfield as well, to be thrown in after not playing since the 9th of September. He did really well in a real physical, tough game against a Mansfield Town side who were obviously in a fantastic rich vein of form in the league and in all competitions. Obviously that came to an end in the week against Port Vale in the EFL Cup, but it's one of those where he's not looked out of place in either game so far.
He is one of the players affected by the Walsall centre-back injury curse this season. He hasn't been fully fit for some of his spell. Here's Sturt, nice little reverse that Tierney dummies through towards James Taylor now. Out towards the left, and Gordon inside the penalty area. Gordon through the legs of a defender. It ricochets off the goalkeeper, and they clear it at a stretch. It'll bounce out of play in the end for a goal kick. Gordon shot through the legs of a defender. Keeper didn't know much about it. It hit him, came out, and there was nobody there to turn in the rebound.
I think we were discussing before the game with a member of Sheppey staff about the stature of the goalkeeper. He's not the tallest, but it was pointed out he's a fantastic shot stopper, and he's proven to be that so far. He's had a couple of efforts, not straight at him, but you would expect him to be comfortable for the goalkeeper, and he's done really well so far in that Sheppey goal.
Yeah, the under-18s manager, I think he was speaking with great enthusiasm about the way this club is run and the importance of the community and the number of players that they've seen come through their youth system who've had opportunities at league clubs. I know one of the players on the bench has been offered a 3-week trial, having previously been released by Crystal Palace. And they are very, very proud that they give players that sort of opportunity. Oladipo Durawoju is due to go to another London club. I won't give away which it is, because he probably shouldn't have told us. But yeah, so a player who's rebounded out of the Football League and is in with a chance of getting another opportunity. Also win a throw midway inside Sheppey United territory. 18 minutes on the clock on BBC Radio WM, on 5 Sports Extra and via BBC Sounds. So you can catch up with FA Cup commentaries online. Here's Donovan Daniels. It's a chip ball forward. Douglas James Taylor underneath it. Does get a head to it, and it's captured comfortably in the air by Aidan Prohl. But he did well there, winning against the rather taller Magi Egbe, James Taylor. Wasn't able to necessarily control the header, but he's forced another save.
Yeah, he'll take it as a shot on target. What we say about stats, but it's more of a pitching wedge up towards him that time rather than a fizzed in pass from Donovan Daniels. But not too bad from Douglas. He's unlucky.
Riley battling with Morgan on the far side. Morgan gets in a challenge, forces it out of play for a throw that is quickly taken back for Sturks, which is play infield towards Donovan Daniels. They're sitting very deep now, Sheppey, as Daniels lays it towards Tierney. Gets turned on the edge of the area, fires at a shot, may have taken a deflection. No, went straight over. He's hit it with plenty of power, but not a lot of direction. It clearly, Matt Sadler seems to have set it out as a policy here to try and get plenty of shots in here and test them.
Yeah, it's shoot on sight, isn't it, at this point? And I think, in this day and age, you always say if you don't test the keeper, if you don't buy a ticket, you'll never win the raffle. And it's one of those where, You know, Frost Tierney seems to get a little bit of space in and around the 18-yard box on the turn on the sixpence. You might as well have a go because, you know, you want to test the goalkeeper.
Sheppey, managed by a man who was instrumental in them being back inside Sheppey, back in this ground at Holm Park. Eddie Batten, an interim manager, being assisted by Jeff Record, and Aaron Gray, who's recently returned to the club, a former player. After a change of manager and a change of chairman during the course of the summer. And they are scrapping here, and they've held out so far, and now they'll look to create with Diallo. There's not an awful lot of room there, though, and it was given away to James Taylor. He can't find a teammate, though. And slow it down, says Danny Leonard, the right winger. And Diallo takes his time and then gets the ball back on the field of play and steers himself very neatly around McKenty. And then it's given away to Gordon. His clearance is blocked, and there could be an opportunity here for Lambert to create something out towards the left-hand side. And Bessie Saldana onto his right foot, fires at a shot and scores! What a strike that is! He has caught that absolutely sweetly. And James Bessie Saldana opens the scoring. First attempt from Sheppey United, and they're in front. 21st minute, Sheppey 1, Walsall 0.
What a fantastic strike from Bessie Saldana. I mentioned it, you know, moments ago about, you know, if they can get the ball out wide, they do it early doors there. They've done it a couple of times and they do so. And there's only one man over there, it's Joe Riley, and he just doesn't come out to him quick enough. And it's one of those where if you allow him to come inside and have a shot on this sort of surface, the ball might bobble up nicely for you, and it does that. And what a goal that is for him. And what a moment for this football club.
He couldn't have hit it more sweetly. No. He really couldn't. What a blow that is for Walsall. And that is what happens in the FA Cup first round proper. There may be 4 levels between them. And actually, when people say it's either 73 or whatever it is, places between them, it's actually more than that when you think of the different divisions around the country as well. There are probably a couple of 100 clubs between these two.
There are, but with a strike of that quality, it doesn't really matter. And you know, Sheppey taking the lead, and we talk about, you know, the Saddles having plenty of chances, but they haven't taken them. And Sheppey get one half chance, I would say, from distance, and they've opened the scoring. And I have to say, what a strike it was from the lad.
It would have lifted the roof. There aren't many, or there isn't much roof to lift here. There are little roofs on the two ends and one above this main stand. But that was a huge moment. Barnsley lead Horsham by a goal to 0 in the night's other tie. As Walsall look to react. Look, they've had a lot of attempts at goal so far in this game. They've got to keep on believing that they'll create more. But Sheppey now have something to hold on to. Daniels looks to switch play out towards the far side, and Knowles, slightly awkward control for him. Got a man at his back in Morgan now. Tries to play it through his legs, gets beyond him, right side of the penalty area. Another defender comes across and slams it out for a corner.
Yeah, he's done well to recover from the initial poor first touch there, and you know, just nutmeg his man and get the wrong side of him. But his second touch let him down, and Saddles just got to allow themselves not to get frustrated at being behind in this game and remain patient.
Stirk, one arm raised from the right hand side, swings it in, it comes deep to McKenty, heads it across the 6-yard box. Daniels tries to get it under control, stabs it back out towards Stirk. Lovely spin from Stirk, back to Daniels on the edge of the penalty area, but it bounces off him this time, and Sheppey will try and get away on the break. Was there a foul by Daniels? The referee will play advantage anyway, as it's laid out on the left hand side. And coming forward is Wisson with a deep cross. Gordon should be able to fend that away on the edge of his penalty area. And then that's going to be a foul by James Taylor, who was trying to win it off Diallo. And a couple of the home players think there should be more action than just a foul. He was just slightly beaten to the ball. It's definitely a free kick, and he will get some words from Mr. Reeves, the referee. Don't think it was a sign of frustration. He was just slightly second to a loose ball.
Yeah, he was. And it was just one of them where I think, you know, if he's quicker off the mark there, he picks up that one and he can lay it back into... It was Isaac Hutchinson, you know, just there to support him, but judges have really got to turn on in those sort of situations.
Sheppey United 1, Walsall 0, 24 minutes played at Holm Park. A long ball down the left from Sheppey. We'll go out of play. Sheppey of the Isthmian League South East Division. They're in the lower half of the table at the moment, although They've only played 6 league games because of their exploits in knockout competitions. Often the way at this stage of the season, if you go well in the FA Cup and the FA Trophy, the league is at something of a standstill. You compare that to Walsall, who have played 16 league games this season and find themselves in 15th in League 2. If James Taylor can't hold it up this time, and a good challenge from his back from Wilkins. Had a play for a Sadler's throw, taken by Gordon, looking for Hutchinson. Hutchinson wanting to turn away from Diallo. Back to Gordon. He's closed down very quickly by Leonard, who plays it off the Walsall man. And out of play for a throw on this near side. It's been something of a party atmosphere since about 4 o'clock around here. Just the anticipation when there was still only a handful of people in the ground. Gaining momentum
by the time you got here, Richard, wouldn't you?
I don't know, sorry?
You would have started the party atmosphere the time you were here.
I think they were a little surprised to find somebody knocking on their door at 3:15, but you know, if you're going to get round London on a Friday, you might as well do it early.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Here's Riley, just the right of the centre circle for Walsall. Rolls it from McKenty. McKenty has Knowles outside him. Looks to get an early cross in. It's headed away, though, by Maggie Eggbay. And now Gordon on the left for the visitors. And the all green strip. Donovan Daniels infield for Stirk. Stirk through the inside left channel. Tierney's first time layoff. Douglas James Taylor can't keep it under control. It comes for Hutchinson. Hutchinson up towards Tierney. Tierney pokes it away from one defender. James Taylor on the edge of the area swings at a shot, always going wide. Another effort at goal. And at the moment, you could argue that the difference between the two sides is the crispness of the finishing. Sheppey have had one chance, took it brilliantly.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And the Sadlers, there's got to be much. We've said it in games throughout the course of the season. We've had games where we have been clinical. Bradford away, Gillingham at home, where we've scored goals. I would even go as far as saying we were clinical away at Blackburn in the first round of the Cup. But we've been far from it this evening, and Sheppey have been it.
It's already a historic cup run for Sheppey United here in northern Kent, for those who are unfamiliar, on the Isle of Sheppey. Got a steep back bridge that you come over to get across. I get a bit hypnotised by the water when I go over a big bridge like that. I had to keep my concentration. Hutchinson winning the ball back here for Walsall, 30 yards out, but the pass from Knowles won't reach James Taylor. And that's a cleverly disguised pass from Hamill to release it out towards the right-hand side. And here's Leonard on halfway. Another firm ball back to Diallo, who turns himself dizzy and gives up possession towards Stirk. He spanned 360 degrees and lost track entirely of where the ball was there, did Diallo. In the end, he recovers and races back to put the ball out of play for a throw to Walsall. But a bit tumble dry from him on that occasion. Daniels for Stirk. Walsall have played the neater football. Sheppey United have got that great goal. McKenty can't play a 1-2 with Tierney. Tierney scraps to maintain possession, though. Looks to drive through the centre of the home defence. The ball ricochets off him again, and it should be cleared. Wilkins runs into the challenge by McKenty, but he manages to shield the ball sufficiently. And the challenge from the former Newcastle United player McKenty leads to a free kick to Sheppey United. 28 minutes gone. We said everything about this evening, the sense of occasion, the fact it was Friday night. It just suggested that it was going to be one of those nights where you wouldn't be surprised if Sheppey got through. And at the moment, you can see it's got the classic FA Cup shot look.
Yeah, it's one of those where, we spoke about it a little bit, like you say, before the game. We spoke about it on the drive down as well, that it's got the makings of everything you'd want from an underdog story in the FA Cup. And I think everybody outside of Walsall Football Club probably wants Sheppey to win this game. And at the moment, they're doing so.
Horsham have equalised at Barnsley. Barnsley 1, Horsham 1. And Fenelon has got the goal. Now Walsall get it out towards the right-hand side, and Knowles dinks the cross in. James Taylor back to goal on the turn. Oh, and it's cleared off the line. I think it was Wilkins who got back to the right of his goalkeeper, because for once James Taylor had beaten the keeper. He's had about 5 attempts at goal now. Here's Hutchinson from long range. Oh, there was power on that. The keeper flung himself full length, but it was going wide of the left-hand post. McKenty has taken a while to pick himself up after getting clipped late. But Walsall's shoot-on-sight policy continuing. At the moment, they can't quite breach this defence, but James Taylor as close as anybody's come for the Saddlers.
Yeah, he's done everything right there, actually. It's a good touch from a poor ball from Tom Knowles, I have to say. It wasn't the greatest clip into the box, but he's done everything right to take it under his control, and you know, it's a good effort from him.
This first half hour seems to have gone in the blink of an eye. It has been ball in play, moving, both teams having their own style. Walsall have been good in possession, more direct and probably quicker at times from Sheppey. Haven't come forward often, but they've done so with purpose. Daniels with a long diagonal, that's going to be too strong for Tom Knowles. As quick as Knowles is, he's never going to catch up with that, and it's out for a goal kick. And you know, Ernie Bratton at the moment is going to be absolutely thrilled to see his team in front. Matt Sadler in the dugout next to him will sense that his team haven't done an awful lot wrong in this first half.
No, they haven't, and like you say, they've got the goal, they've got themselves something to hold on to, and they're doing so at the moment, playing a little dangerously at the back here from what we can see down in that left-hand corner. But you know, they've got that goal, they've got themselves that little bit of hope, what they would have wanted in the game, and you know, Saddlers have got to find something now to get themselves back into this one.
31st minute, Walsall win it back inside Sheppey territory, but Tierney has run off it, and now Bradshaw turns it round the corner. It's laid out on the left-hand side towards the goal scorer, and a miscue by Riley nearly lets in James Bessie Saldana again, but Riley recovers his composure and the ball and clears it up towards halfway. It won't stick with James Taylor though, and then well, again they like to take a risk at the bat. Majoy Egbate takes his man on and beats him. Ball forward then from Wilkins, takes a deflection, and it comes for Leonard. Leonard lays it back to midfield, and Whistler's given it away to James Taylor. Now attacking the edge of the penalty area, makes an angle for the shot, James Taylor, and this time drills it wide of the keeper. And Douglas James Taylor, who's had a series of attempts at goals so far in this first half, capitalises on the error from Wisson, intercepts the ball, takes it wide of the centre-back, and on the angle across the keeper has Walsall level. 32nd minute, Sheppey United 1, Walsall 1.
Yeah, you know, I said, you know, earlier in his first half, you know, the centre halves can sometimes be caught just a little bit too wide of each other, you know, and they get slightly fortunate with the ball back into Douglas James Taylor there, and I actually thought he'd taken it a little bit too wide, but the angle ever so slightly against him, but it's a good finish back across the goalkeeper Aidan Prowl there, and finally Douglas James Taylor has, you know, found the back of the net from the number of chances, and Donovan Daniels just congratulating him there for keep on going, and you know, he's got his reward.
Yeah, it's a bit like when a batsman plays and misses, you then have to forget it. It's irrelevant. You've got to go and take the next opportunity properly, and that's exactly what Douglas James Taylor has done. His first goal of the season. He's only got 3 for Walsall, a couple when he was on loan last year, but one of those was in the FA Cup. So maybe he is the cup specialist. Maybe Matt Sadler got that call right, starting him in the absence through injury at the moment of lone striker Freddie Draper on loan from Lincoln. But Douglas James Taylor preferred to Danny Johnson. A
memorable goal, I think it was as well, in the FA Cup for him against Carlisle in the very, very late turnaround. I think Andy Williams scored in that one as well. Fantastic scenes in front of the Poundland stand, and one I think will live long in his memory.
Well, he'll remember getting a goal today as well, but he'll want more. One apiece in this game, and here's Hutchinson down the left-hand side for Walsall. Daniels has found himself in the penalty area in open play, would have loved a cross to get into the penalty area, but it's back with Gordon. Gordon looking to find Knowles, who's come deep and central to receive possession. Riley was offering outside him, rather belatedly plays him in on the right-hand side rather, but played it behind him actually. And now here's Stirk. Stirk looking for the run of Knowles. It was well cut out on the edge of the penalty area. Stabbed clear. Won back though by the presence of Stirk, who bumped into the back of a man who wasn't expecting him and was able to dispossess Lambert. And now Hutchinson looking to create an angle for a shot, fires it in. That's an excellent save. Two-handed, claws it behind, does Prowl. Hutchinson, who's so dangerous from that sort of 20-yard range, behind for a corner. Good stop.
Yeah, he's said a number of times when he's been unpressed that he will always back himself from those sorts of positions, and it's been a bright spark for the Saddlers in his first 34 minutes, and I have to say Ryan Stirk is once again shown his quality. He's fantastic. He's running that midfield and he's running the game.
It's been a really entertaining game so far. Stirk's corner is very tight on goal, and it nearly crept in the post. Walsall are appealing that somebody got a touch on it. I don't think they did, and the referee certainly doesn't think they did. But against this shorter goalkeeper, who we've seen his shot stopping potential, but just looked like that corner was going to go in direct and creep in the post.
Yeah, I thought it was as well, and the way the wind was just going to take it in, I thought it was going to loop up and over Prowl in in the Sheppey goal, and it's the right idea from an in-swinging corner, and it's unlucky there, Ryan Sturck.
One in the air by McKenty. Ball bounces and is caught by a spectator no more than 2.5 yards in front of us.
I thought we were in there, Rich.
Yeah, I was after a touch. I've only got one hand available though, because I've got my notes tucked in me under my arm. We are standing today at the back of this stand, and it's in order to get a view over those spectators who are on this near touch line. It's a great position to be in, because you catch everything, you can hear what's going on, and we've seen a proper game of FA Cup football. Walsall looking out to the left. It's a lovely ball drilled out there by Okagwe to find Hutchinson, driving towards the byline, scoops up across, hangs in the air towards the far post. Nobody makes contact initially. Sturck was in there. He's gone down appealing for a penalty. He's still down. He's picking himself up slowly because Riley has possession for Walsall. Sturck is hobbling up and down at the moment as Douglas James Taylor tries to dummy it through to him, but it was intercepted by the big defender Magi Egby, who runs out of defence. Sturck did have a bit of a tug of his shirt. Be interesting whether the referee comes back to deal with that, as Knowles tracking back with a great interception on halfway, and he looks to carry it the other way up towards the Walsall goal scorer Douglas James Taylor, equalising the early goal from James Bessie Saldana. Good night for the double-barrelled players so far tonight.
It is, yeah.
The two number 11s as well. Here's Hutchinson through the inside left channel. Hasn't quite got the angle right to find Tierney. Wilkins at pace is trying to get it away. Short for Diallo. Back towards his own penalty area. Lays it back to his keeper. His keeper fires it to Wilkins. He does well to get it under control. And clears it high towards McKenzie. McKenzie's header forward is away by Hamill. Riley lifts it into the air. It's a scruffy passage and played. It comes down at the feet of Hutchinson. Lovely little shimmy and turn. He lays it out on the left-hand side for Gordon. Here's Sturck. Good luck listening to the announcement on the PA system here, by the way, as Hutchinson thinks about a shot from 30 yards up towards the edge of the penalty area. Ricochets back to Tierney, but there's a foul on the edge of the D by McKenty. He's taken down the Sheppey defender, and it'll be a free kick. There was a time that you referred to that as a Norman Collier moment, but we are reaching the point in history that you wouldn't have a clue who Norman Collier was.
No, I've not got the absolute foggiest, but I've got to say, we're stood right next to the speaker, and it's going straight. It's going straight through me. And it's
the chap stood next to you is literally under the speaker, because he's about 6'4" and the speaker's at 6'6", directly above his head. Oh dear! It's all part of the fun of the first round of the FA Cup, but this is great fun. One apiece on BBC Radio WM, on 5 Sports Extra, and on BBC Sounds. Tom Heslock from the Walsall media team alongside myself, Richard Wilford. Interception on the far side by Knowles. It was his shoulder, despite appeals for handball. Little stutter step carries him away from Hamill. Thought he was going to pull the trigger. He doesn't with the right foot. He does with the left. That's another diving save from Aidan Prohl. Had to fling himself to the left again. Whether it was inside or outside the post, he couldn't really judge. Had to make sure. Knowles close, behind for a corner.
Yeah, he struggled to get the ball out of his feet there almost. I think he'd shifted it onto his right foot. He wanted, to be able to get a shot away with his right, but it's a fantastic strike with his left there, and it's another good save from Sheppey keeper Prowl.
It's going to be a switcher corner taker here. Ryan Sturck has given way, and Ross Tierney will take it from a distance there, a bit like twins, one right-footed, one left-footed. And Tierney with the right foot will produce an outswinger. It's towards Donovan Daniels. Vital touch in there. I think it was Hamill, and it's Hamill who picks it up 5 yards outside the penalty area and looks to release it long for the pace here of Leonard. Leonard holding it up with Gordon at his back. He tries to squeeze between two defenders, and Gordon does well to rob the ball. And Walsall look down the right-hand side. It's Morgan who intercepts. Spinning ball, gets a good head to it. Sturck gets it down towards Tierney. Tierney just over halfway. Infielder McKenty. He looks very quickly to his left to see what options are there. And here's Donovan Daniels, who a few moments ago thought he was about to burst the net, only to see it flicked away by that crucial challenge from the home skipper, Richie Hamill. Also move it right for Riley. Just over 6 minutes to go till half-time. Riley carries it a long way. He's 25 yards out, turns on the sixpence. Douglas James Taylor tries to feed it through to Tierney in the box. It won't reach him, but it's out to Sturck. Sturck with the outside of his left boot finds Gordon wide on this near side. Lays it back once more for Sturck. Sturck with a shot. Oh, what a save that is. That's the best of the lot. That looked like it was going top corner. He's pinged it as Ryan Sturck, and the keeper somehow has got his fingertips on it and got it away. He keeps it at 1-1.
I've got to say, it's a great effort matched by an even better save. I thought he'd just done everything right there on Sturk just to curl it away from Prowley in the goal, but what a save.
Aidan Prowley is exactly what the Sheppey youth coach described to us earlier. He'd absolutely lived up to the billing he was given earlier. Sturk has returned to corner duties. This really hangs. McKenty heads over. He will feel he should have done better indeed. He chides himself. He's fuming, Oisin McKenty, because that has been on all night from set pieces. Back post, McKenty, free header, puts it over the bar.
Yeah, it has, and when you've got somebody like him, you know, I think he's already got 3 goals to his name so far this season, and, you know, 2 have come from set pieces as well, I think, and showcase just what he can do inside the penalty area, and he's had a couple this evening, and like you say, Richard, he'd be really disappointed that he's not made more of that opportunity there.
Sadler's shot count must be well into double figures at this point. Well, Douglas James Taylor's probably had half a dozen. They are doing all of the right sort of things. In fact, I mean, a couple of minutes ago, because it won't have been updated yet, it was already at 14 attempts for Walsall. As they try and come through the middle here, that was well defended on that occasion by Connor Wilkins. And then, Macho Yegba, this giant centre-back, loves to play his football. He's managed to effectively beat 3 Walsall green-shirted players in one little manoeuvre of the ball there. But they've given it away very quickly, and Hutchinson finds Gordon on the left-hand side. And Lekan Macho is never dull, is he? There's a confidence about this Sheppey team, and I know they've not had a lot of the ball in the Walsall half, but they've scored a tremendous goal that gave them the lead for a while. And when they come forward, you do wonder whether they might add to it. Bessie Saldana is trying to turn. There's an appeal for a free kick. It's not going to be given. The standing spectators on the far side, where they're about 3 deep, and you've got to be quite tall if you're in row 3 of being 3 deep in front of a red metallic fence that's probably no more than 8 feet high, which marks the boundary of the ground. There are practice pitches on the far side there, which are normal grass as opposed to this artificial surface, which has played really well tonight, by the way. Lovely turn here from Sturk to Douglas James Taylor, right side of the box, another opportunity, and he's crossed it too far in front of Hutchinson, steered behind. A bit of safety first from Wilkins. It's out of play for another corner.
They've moved it really well there, played through the thirds, and it was a great pass from Sturk into the feet of Ross Tierney, who then found Douglas James Taylor. And I don't actually think it's a bad idea to pull it back. He was perhaps expecting another Sadler's man to be there, but good move.
Must be Tierney who's disappeared into the crowd to take this corner. It's another one of the corners where we can't see him. We can see the toilets behind him, but we can't see him. As he again stands up very high towards the back post. Daniel's looking to attack it. It's not properly cleared, but it's a miscue from Knowles. It was an awkward dropping ball 10 yards out, and it really got stuck under his feet as he tried to turn it towards goal. And Sheppey are glad to get it clear with 2.5 minutes of normal time left in this first half. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 1. Walsall closing in on 20 attempts at goal in the first half. They've only scored with 1 of them. The home keeper, Aidan Prohl, has been magnificent, and I don't think I'm overstating that case. He really has had a half to remember. Here's James Taylor, 25 yards out in central. McKenty, nice control. With his second touch, lays it out left for Gordon. Worked neatly from Hutchinson to McKenty, back to Hutchinson once more. Gets over one challenge, but runs into another. And it flies off the shins of the defender, Wisson. And there's a player down on halfway, and it's Dan Bradshaw. He was a doubt for this game. He's got what is a very persistent back injury that won't really go away. He says at the age of 32 that all his years playing non-league football have finally done for him to some extent.
Yeah, and I think playing on this type of surface, it's like a real, knock against you, because it can be harder than running on grass as well. And when you've got back injuries, that can really, take its toll. And like you said, they've worked incredibly hard. I saw him thank the physio for getting him, even to this stage of the game, to be able to play 44 minutes against, Tom's former side in the Sadlers. It was a great moment for him to be able to play it, but a real shame to see him go off in such a great occasion for Sheppey United.
He is coming off though, and Alex Willis will come on, who's got 4 goals this season.
15, Alex Willis.
So this is a light-for-light replacement. He actually came off before half-time of the replay in the 4th qualifying round against Billericay as well. Bradshaw scored in both games against Billericay. But that is a real shame that he hasn't managed to make it beyond this level. It looks to me like he's gone off with an injury which can often occur if you've got a back problem, because that looks like he was feeling his right hamstring, which makes you vulnerable when you've got a bad back. There's Liam Gordon with good control. It sounded slightly painful from here as he controlled that on his chest, and the fans thought that as well on the near side. But they work it to the left side of the box here, Walsall, for James Taylor. Tries to find Hutchinson, but that's well read and intercepted by Hamill, who bides some time to try and pick out the right ball, but then hits it straight at Oisin McKenty. A little bit of frustration shown for the first time by a couple of the Sheppey players that they gave possession away cheaply. We're about to find out how much added time there's going to be at the end of this first half. Looks like there's a couple of minutes, 3 minutes on the board. As Sturt looks out to the far side of Knowles, well judged by Morgan, and he heads at a play on the far side. He's got a lot of work to get through, Frankie Morgan, the 21-year-old fullback. Looks a decent player. He's also come forward again with McKenty on the right-hand side into the centre, and Sturk 30 yards out.
And the
towards
referee
Hutchinson.
has indicated a
Back
minimum
to,
3 minutes
goal.
added time. Minimum 3 minutes added time.
Shan't try and compete with that. As Hutchinson plays it short to a Cagbre, comes forward. James Taylor needed to do better there with his control, but it's just a scuffed clearance that breaks now for Riley. Riley makes 15 yards, dinked in field for Hutchinson. Hutchinson needed a couple of touches to get the ball down. In the end, that cost him the space to get a ball through. And it's cleared to halfway, controlled on the thigh by Daniels, who accelerates very neatly away from Willis. Lovely ball on the left-hand side for Gordon. If he can keep it in, he can. Steers it into the penalty area, but the offside flag is up. And it'll be a free kick to Sheppey and a chance for them to clear their lines. It's a first half that's had a lot. The League Two side almost constantly on the attack. Shot after shot after shot. Fell behind to a blinding goal from James Bessie Saldana. Equalised, neatly worked finish from Douglas James Taylor. And at the moment it looks like we'll go into half time, Tom, with everything still up in the air.
Yeah, and I think that will probably been the message from the Sheppey camp. If you can go in at half time still with something to play for, you want to do that. And it's a fantastic finish from the lad to get them ahead, and then the Saddlers regrouped and got themselves that equaliser, and probably the dominance we perhaps expected from the Saddlers. But I think with the chances that we've had, you would want more goals in this game.
Gordon in field towards Hutchinson near the corner of the penalty area. Hutchinson, opportunity to try and create here, driving in field, lays it across, and I don't know what Knowles was attempting there. I think he was hoping to find McKenty, but he couldn't. And Sheppey will run it out of defence on the far side, and that's a good ball forward here for Bessie Saldana. Riley does well to recover and gets it back to his keeper. Up at Oakwell, Horsham have come from behind to lead 2-1 at Barnsley.
Wow.
And James Hammond has put them in front with a penalty, as Riley wins the ball deep in his own territory again. Walsall find their route blocked, and Hamill with a tackle plays it to his right. Cries have hit it to Wisson, but he plays the smart ball towards Leonard, who cuts in field from the right. There's as many bodies as they've got forward for a long time here, as Diallo fires it towards the edge of the area. Leonard tries to get himself turned. Daniels in with a crucial intervention, and he's going to be given a free kick for the challenge by Leonard, who goes to shake his hand by way of apology. And although Diallo thinks he's about to take a throw, it'll be a Walsall free kick, and that will just about be it for the first half here. And it's going to be an interesting one for both managers. I think, look, as the half-time whistle goes, Ernie Batten is going to be thrilled with how competitive Sheppey have been, the outstanding performance from their goalkeeper in the first half. I think the two centre-backs have been pretty resilient. Matt Sadler will feel that, other than the goal they conceded, Walsall have executed pretty much everything that he would have wanted from them on this pitch.
Yes, exactly that. They've controlled the game as you would have expected. They've moved the ball well. They've not really shown their frustrations too much. They've stayed with exactly what they were wanting to do. They've played their football. But I have to say, man of the match so far is Aidan Prall in the Sheppey goal. He has been superb for the home side, and he's going off to a round of applause from his supporters, and rightly so, because he's been absolutely fantastic.
The queue for the snack bar here is going to be too long for us during the half-time interval, but there is a local delicacy that everybody loves to have here. Their chocolate muffins are famous, apparently.
Wow.
The chocolate muffins. Quite a few were being eaten like 4:30.
I've seen the price of the chocolate muffins, and I have to say I won't be making my way to the snack bar to receive one of those.
Outrageous. Look, we've had everything that's good about the first round of the FA Cup so far tonight, if not the chocolate muffins. Half-time here at Home Park. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 1.
Tom Heslop and Richard Wilford enjoying the FA Cup, and we're all enjoying it. I'm not sure Walsall have enjoyed that first half quite as much as Sheppey United, having been behind for an uncomfortable 11 minutes. But Douglas James Taylor with the equaliser. It was a terrific goal from Bessie Saldana in the first place. So 1-1 at the break. We'll be back with Tom and Richard for the second half of what has been a lively cup tie so far. Whatever you hear about the FA Cup every season, and some of the big clubs come out and they generally sort of patronise it a bit, or don't you get that feeling? But you don't on nights like this. The FA Cup first round is underway with a good tie at Sheppey, and also, by the look of it, as Richard was saying, at Oakwell, with Horsham leading there at Barnsley. In fact, Barnsley have just in the last few moments equalised inside of half-time. So that's a Super Cup tie as well. Barnsley 2, Horsham 2. But for 7 memorable minutes, Horsham were in front there. But 2 each approaching half-time. And in our featured game on BBC Radio WM and 5 Sports Extra tonight, Sheppey 1, Walsall 1.
BBC Radio WM Sports.
At 8:35 for listeners to BBC Radio WM, there is more live football tomorrow, and then of course on Sunday as well. So we're going to take a few moments to look ahead to some of the weekend games for clubs in the West Midlands. Our commentary on WM on FM tomorrow on 95.6 FM at 3 o'clock will be at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United with only 1 point, and so many players injured, so much difficulty for the Sheffield United Paul Heckingbottom. I think has the support and, in many ways, the moral support of an awful lot of people around the game looking at Sheffield United's plight. His future in the job seemingly, it is the subject of a lot of discussion, with the possibility that Chris Wilder might return. But whoever is managing Sheffield United, it's going to be a long way back from where they are. Wolves on 12 points and unbeaten in 5 league games are feeling pretty good. But they could do without quite so much controversy this weekend. The 2-2 draw with Newcastle last Saturday night was a tremendous game that had with so much of the drama and excitement that has made the Premier League so popular around the world. But Gary O'Neill at the end of it was very cross indeed about the penalty decision given to Newcastle, and didn't choose his words quite as carefully as he has done on other occasions after controversial decisions earlier in the season. And when we spoke to him at the press conference today, he hadn't changed his tune all that much, and it certainly didn't make him feel much better when he heard that the official review into that penalty decision last week agreed with him.
No, I saw the numbers in the sort of the review that they do on Tuesday that was 5-0 in favour of a penalty not being given on field, and 4-1 in favour of it should have been overturned by VAR. And I think Anthony Taylor's doing the championship game this weekend, so I think that's 3 referees now that have been relegated off the back of refereeing for us. So you will need to be careful when you referee for Wolves, because you can end up in the Championship the following week. Man United, Luton and Newcastle now. So, no, I haven't received an apology, and I don't want one. Yeah, apologies aren't going to help. So hopefully the level improves. Just feel a better level of refereeing is where I'm at with it at the moment. I think, too many mistakes. So communication's fine. They've always communicated fine with me. But yeah, just the level for me, as we're all held to high levels in what we do. The players are, I am, refereeing the same. So yeah, they say these things sort of even themselves up, but I don't see that happening. I think we've been on the bad end too many times now. So hopefully things can start to improve for them as well, because I'm sure they're feeling under pressure at the moment. Spotlight's on them a little bit for all the mistakes that are being made, and whether VAR's helping or not. So hoping that things can improve.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill, who, say on previous occasions this season, and there have been some contentious decisions, has been a little more choosy in the words that he's used to describe it. Not so much this time. Robert Jones is the referee. We'll hope that he's still doing a Premier League game next weekend after he's refereed Sheffield United against Wolves, and that'll be live on BBC Radio WM on 95.6 FM tomorrow afternoon. Mel Eves will be with me for analysis on that game, and of course Das Hale will be here from 2 o'clock to steer you through all the team news and build-up. Daz will be presenting the programme from St Andrews, where commentary on DAB digital radio in the Birmingham area and on Freeview, channel 722 in the West Midlands, will come from St Andrews. Blues against Ipswich, and 3 defeats in his first 3 games for Wayne Rooney, the most awkward of starts, after trying to instil his brand of football with not much success so far. But he told Richard Wilford yesterday that it may have been a difficult transition so far for Blues to Rooney ball, but the manager says there's no turning back.
We obviously want to play, and I said this last week. I've looked through all the stats on it as well, which has backed it up. The teams what get out the league are teams who play football and teams who have more of the ball. So, as I said, the process. I seen Pochettino comment yesterday or the day before, asking for patience, and again they spent a lot of money. They've brought a lot of players in, had a full pre-season. We're only a few weeks into me coming in here, and so I'm as I said, I'm really calm. I'm happy with how the players are taking the information in. Of course, it could have been a better start. We know that, but it's a plan which we've got not just for the short term, for the long term, for the future of this club, and we will get there. I have no doubt about that. It's just going to obviously take a bit of time, but again, an opportunity for us to pick up 3 points at home against a very good team. So it's been a challenging month for us, playing against good teams, good footballing teams. So I feel next 2 games are big for us going into the international break, and of course we'll be doing everything we can to pick up the points.
Wayne Rooney determined to press on in his chosen direction when Birmingham City play Ipswich tomorrow, and that'll be on BBC Radio WM, on DAB digital radio if you're listening in the Birmingham area, and it'll be on Freeview channel 722 for listeners around the West Midlands. On our DAB Black Country service, and depending on where you live in the West Midlands, you might be able to pick up both. They're on different channels, so do look around your DAB radio if you're wanting the different commentary. But from the Black Country transmitter, we'll be at the Hawthorns, where Steve Herman will be describing West Bromwich Albion's game against Hull. Albion going well at the moment, with only 1 defeat in 9 matches, lifting them up to 5th in the table. They were 2-0 winners at Coventry on Monday. Now they take on a Hull side who've had an excellent start to the season under Liam Rossignol, and the Baggies head coach Carlos Corberán says it should be a really good game to watch.
Magnificent game, because I think they play a very good football. When you put very good players, and for me they have made an amazing recruitment summer with a very good coach, very attacking coach that is making a brilliant football. When you put these together, it means that you are going to play against one team that is going to be very dangerous. That's why it's in a very good position on the table, and is one team that even the games that they have lost, they will have possibilities to win the games. And for us, still we are not in the level in attack that they were showing so far, so it means that we need to be defensively perfect to come with one game. If you defensively are not perfect in this game, the option that you are going to have to win the game are going to reduce. And at the same time, against one team that they attack very well, the thing that you need to do is to attack well too, because you are going to move them to the space where they feel less comfortable.
Carlos Corberán of West Bromwich Albion looking ahead to their game against Hull City, and that's on DAB digital radio from our Black Country service in the West Midlands tomorrow. We'll also be with Solihull Moors in the first round of the FA Cup, the 8th season in a row that the highest ranked non-league club in the West Midlands, the Moors, have reached the FA Cup first round. They've never been past the second round, so they're about due a big cup run to go all the way to round 3, and who knows where after that. Bolton Wanderers away is their opponents tomorrow. Andrew Wing is the Solihull Moors manager, and he knows from past experience that the funds raised from from a good cup run can make all the difference.
Yeah, we basically built a stand from for Banbury by getting these cup runs in the first round of the FA Cup, being on TV in the first round, and that helped our league form as well. I think it's really important. You know, I see a lot of managers, you know, even Premier League managers, and they're resting players in the sort of Carabao Cup, and you know it affects the team. You know, making too many changes, and I always think you know your cup runs help that momentum going into the league, because it gives you confidence. Players want to play them big games, so then they're playing one in the league. You know, we haven't got the luxury of probably chopping and changing too much anyway, which probably helps. So hopefully we catch them on an off day if they make 5 or 6 changes. You know, but we're, you know, hopefully a good cup run. You know, I remember a couple of years ago watching Solihull Moors on the TV. I think they're playing Blackpool at home, and there was 3,000 or 4,000 there. You know, they're the days you want, really. That's what this football club needs, to bring supporters into the football club, and hopefully we can try and achieve that on Saturday.
He speaks for us all, doesn't he, as far as the FA's Cup is concerned? Andy Wing of Sheppey, of Solihull Moors, and they are at Bolton tomorrow, and listeners to BBC Radio WM will be able to follow them. We'll have updates on 95.6 to see if the Moors can finally break through. And on Sunday afternoon, Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff, and you can join Richard from the City Ground at 1:45. That will be on all frequencies except online from BBC Radio WM. Smashing cup tie we've got tonight. The other scores this evening. They're still playing in the first half at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 0, Leeds 0 in the Championship. Leicester have only dropped 3 points so far this season, and are in charge in the early stages of the Championship, leading by 6 points from Ipswich. If it's a draw tonight, they could extend it to 8. Leeds in third place at the start of the evening. In the FA Cup first round, Barnsley 2, Horsham 2. Both teams have been in the lead in that game, including Horsham for a heady 7 minutes after James Hammond's penalty, but 2-2 at half-time. And in our featured FA Cup first round tie tonight, Walsall have been given a friendly but lively welcome by Sheppey United of the Isthmian League. And there's all to play for at half-time after these first-half goals.
And Bessie Saldana onto his right foot, fires at his shot and scores! What a strike that is! He has caught that absolutely sweetly. And James Bessie Saldana opens the scoring. First attempt from Sheppey United, and they're in front. 21st minute, Sheppey 1, Walsall 0. Leonard lays it back to midfield, and Whistler's given it away to James Taylor. Now attacking the edge of the penalty area, makes an angle for the shot, James Taylor, and this time drills it wide of the keeper. And Douglas James Taylor, who's had a series of attempts at goals so far in this first half, capitalises on the error from Wisson, intercepts the ball, takes it wide of the centre-back, and on the angle across the keeper has Walsall level. 32nd minute, Sheppey United 1, Walsall 1.
I've just been looking at some pictures here, Richard, of the Sheppey United dressing room at half-time, and the coach, Ernie Batten, who I know, as you were saying earlier, has done a lot, not only for the club on the field, but off the field as well, and getting them back onto the Isle of Sheppey, trying to keep the grin off his face when talking to his players at half-time, but he's thoroughly wrapped up in the moment, as by the sound of it, you all are there. It sounds like a tremendous occasion.
It's everything you hoped it would be, to be honest. When you see a tie like this come out in the hat, you want it to be a special sort of night like this, and it really has been. I mean, Ernie Batten, without him, there wouldn't be a club playing at home park under the banner of Sheppey United. He and other people who made it happen again. Fascinating thing about it statistically, this game, by the way, is that goal was their only shot of the first half, Sheppey United. Walsall had 16, 9 of them on target. But it's the FA Cup. These sort of stories are made to be written. There's been a second warning of the night to the fans not to come on the pitch regardless of the result at the end, and not least to protect the 3G service, let alone the fact that it would be illegal. But just in case, they've put out those announcements, because who knows what this second 45 minutes is going to bring. The two teams are out for it. I'm Richard Wilford, alongside me Tom Heslop from Walsall's media team, and in the second half Walsall will be kicking from left to right towards where the majority of home fans are congregated. You can't do the traditional non-league thing of changing ends today, because Walsall have the end away to our left, which Owen Evans will be protecting. He might feel he should have done better with that goal in the first half. Walsall would certainly feel they should have done a bit better with their finishing. but the goalkeeper has been quite exceptional. The ball is at the feet of Aidan Pryle in the Sheppey goal, and it's turned out towards the near side and cleared downfield by the left back. Morgan had a play for a throw. Sheppey with the outstanding Pryle in goal at the back. Diallo, Majayegbe, Wilkins and Morgan in midfield. Hamill and Wisson and Lambert in the middle, with Leonard and Bessie Saldana wide, and Willis the substitute on for the injured Dan Bradshaw up front. Also with Evans in goal, Riley, Akagwe, Daniels and Gordon at the back. Stirk and McKenty the holders, with Knowles, Tierney and Hutchinson further forward in midfield behind James Taylor, who scored the equaliser. Walsall in their change kit of all green, and Sheppey United in their home colours, the red and white stripes with black shorts and red socks, kind of a la Sheffield United, if you like, if you've been mishearing them all night as that. Sheffield United, of course, would play Wolves tomorrow. But possession with Sheppey United. They go back towards the edge of their own penalty area, and Wilkins has been the busiest of their two central defenders. The left back Morgan has been in a real tussle throughout, and he receives the ball now, the 21-year-old. Has support outside him from Bessie Saldana. Closed down by Riley. Forced back towards halfway, and that's a lovely little turn as he received the ball there from Hamill. Then he gives it away to Tom Knowles. He looks to accelerate through the gears and gets very quickly away from Lambert. He thought he'd closed him down. He's run 60, 70 yards. He lays it to his left now. Hutchinson with the cross, trying to pick out the run of Knowles, but Knowles have put the brakes on, hoping for the drag back rather than continuing the run. And a promising move is broken up by the home side, who will look to create something. Willis has made a run through the middle, but he's not able to be found initially by Leonard. And now a cross comes in from the left towards Willis, and Willis steers it into the side netting. Well, Walsall were looking for a flag. There was none forthcoming. The ball had been in the air for a long time, but nobody has picked up Alex Willis, who will believe he should have got his attempt on target.
Yeah, I've got to say, I thought the cross was perhaps a little bit overhit there, and I think Sadler's players had all gambled on the Tom Knowles run, and they looked a little bit lethargic getting back to it. And what you say, I think that the Sheppey man's going to be really disappointed he's not actually hit the target there. And there was a couple in front of us who thought he might have actually scored that.
Well, they shouldn't have needed any reminding of the danger of this side. They may have only had the one shot in the first half, but they did score from it, and they have shown pace, and that all went a little bit easily across the penalty area as Willis wins it back, blocking a ball from Stirk, and it comes now for Wisson out towards the far side, and Leonard has got three in the box to aim for here. Gordon trying to block the cross, he can't. It's headed away at the near post by Daniels, and Gordon lifts it a bit further clear, flicked back towards the edge of the penalty area, away by Stirk, and he's placed that nicely into the path of Hutchinson. He looks to accelerate away from Diallo. Diallo shows good pace to catch up with Hutchinson, but he protects the ball well. And on this left flank, Hutchinson support behind him now coming from McKenty. McKenty back for Stirk, 30 yards out and central. Plenty of bodies forward now for Walsall. Back to Isaac Hutchinson, corner of the penalty area, tries to curl in a shot, parried away by the keeper. That was a more straightforward save. There was a little bit of one for the cameras about the way he fisted that away, but Hutchinson again showing Walsall's eagerness to get the ball goal bound.
Yeah, it's another good one there from him to cut inside, and he just had enough created space there, and I think he did the right thing to try and lift it. But another great save from Prabha, like you say, probably one of the more straightforward ones of the evening.
Still one apiece. We've had 4 minutes of the second half just about, and it's away by Wilkins, the right-sided centre-back for Sheppey United, who look a little bit more comfortable in possession in the early moments of the second half. Wisson switching play to the near side. Morgan touches it very neatly in field for Bessie Saldana, and then Akagwe meeting man and ball at the same time, guides it out towards the near side. Then Knowles with a foul, not too close to his man, takes him down and concedes a free kick just in front of the rails down to the left of us. And Joshua Wisson comes across to take the free kick, whilst a young left back, Frankie Morgan, who looks more than capable of being a level or two above this, just shrugs off the challenge from Knowles.
Started brightly in the second half, Sheppey, like you say. The opening 5 minutes have looked a little bit more comfortable on the ball. They've just tried to get it down, and a little sustained bit of pressure. Possession now is going to allow Richie Hamill to try and deliver the ball into the box. They've sent the big men forward as well.
Yeah, his 5th season with the club, floats it in left-footed. Evans has come a long way and hasn't arrived, and the ball is fired wide. That's another opportunity. That was not good goalkeeping at all from Owen Evans. He's come a long way to try and get to that ball, He's got nowhere near it in truth, and it's been stabbed wide. Wilkins, I think it was, who had the opportunity in the end, the centre-back. Well, they may have only had one attempt in the first half from which they scored, but they've already had two very good openings in the second here, Sheppey United.
I don't know what Owen Evans is doing there. He's going to get nowhere near the ball. It's an out-swinging cross.
Gordon with an early ball into the middle looking for Tierney. It's come off the defender into the arms of his keeper. Again, it was the very busy Wilkins who got a touch on it. But if he hadn't, then Tierney would have been in with a great chance. It's punch and counter punch in this time.
It is. It's a really fantastic FA Cup game, you know, end-to-end stuff at this, you know, at the start of this second half, and it's exactly what you want.
Gordon wins it back again, and then Knowles wants to use his pace to come out wide, right side of the box, gets the cross in, it ricochets back towards the edge of the area, and it's swept away by Wisson. Willis tries to hold it up, but Daniels poaches it off him. And now here's Sturt. For a moment I thought he was going to shoot from 35 yards. Instead he gives it to Hutchinson on the left. Lots of bodies forward. Hutchinson creates a shooting opportunity again and whistles it wide of the keeper's right-hand post. All action, still 1-1. BBC Radio WM, 5 Sports Extra, BBC Sounds as well. 7th minute of the second half. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 1. And we've already seen what, between the two teams, something like 5 attempts at goal in this second period.
Certainly getting bang for the buck, the ITV cameras, aren't they? You know, it's been a fantastic FA Cup game. The first 52 minutes of it have been fantastic. And Sheppey, you know, offering plenty of value in this second half so far.
The ball is with Owen Evans inside his penalty area at the moment. Rolls it right for Akagwe. Akagwe looking on the diagonal towards Hutchinson. The defender Diallo was shielding his eyes from the floodlights. Well, specifically the one giant floodlight that's been erected behind this stand, because the lighting in the ground otherwise is fine for a midweek game in the Isthmian League South East Division, but the TV cameras are here. You need a bit more brightness than that. And it's been very effective, the extra light, as Hutchinson finds Knowles, central 30 yards out. The defence is backing off. Tom Knowles fires in a shot into the corner of the net. That is an absolute beauty from Tom Knowles, who gives Walsall the lead. The defenders were backing towards the edge of the penalty area, and Knowles sensed his opportunity and puts the visitors in front. 53rd minute, Sheppey United 1, Walsall 2.
Yeah, I think it was always going to get to that point where one of the long-range efforts was going to beat Aidan Prowl in the Sheppey goal, and it's done so there, and they backed off Tom Knowles, and it was one of them where I think, you know, that little bit of quality, he just managed to wrap his foot round it enough there, and you can't back off players from 4 divisions above you, unfortunately, and they've been made to pay for that one, and Saddlers get themselves ahead on the night. Second goal of the season for Tom Knowles. His other came against the Brighton under-21s in the EFL Trophy. Been a bit of a stop-start season due to injury and a suspension as well after a red card. Sheppey have had a player down looking a little bit injured, but he's back on his feet now. You mentioned that goal from Tom Knowles against Brighton's under-21s. I think he'd literally just come back from an injury that had kept him out for the large part of, you know, the early, you know, stages of the season, and like you say, it's been a real stop-start, you know, moment for him. But the head coach had mentioned, you know, he just started to see the best of him at the moment. It's not job done yet, just because Walsall are in front, but it puts them closer to avoiding an upset. No free kick awarded when Sheppey wanted it. Knowles plays it forward towards James Taylor, who tries to release McKenty down the right-hand side. Good pace by McKenty down towards the corner flag. Gets in a deep cross. It has to be dealt with. Not cleared properly. James Taylor's shot is blocked. It gets stuck between the legs of the defender then. Diallo, but they do work it clear in the end. Then Donovan Daniels surely this time will be penalised. No, he isn't. No foul by Daniels on Willis. That was interesting. A little surprised by that one. They went straight for the back of him. Gordon on the overlap. Hutchinson ignores him for now. Drives up towards the edge of the penalty area. Little reverse for Tierney. Tierney down towards the byline. Has to put the brakes on. Comes out to the left side of the penalty area. And his ball back comes to McKenty. McKenty thinks about a long-range shot. Excellent block in this time. And then Willis is bumped by McKenty and does get the free kick this time, which was probably one incident too late. Yeah, met by the ironic cheers of the home supporters there, but you know, again, another Saddlers man just looking to take aim from distance there after seeing Tom Knowles have some joy, and you know, they do tend to back off Sheppey, and you know, another chance needed, and what's their third goal? Sheppey trying to come forward but losing possession, and here's Knowles. If they do start chasing the game, Sheppey, it could open things up a little bit more
for the visitors. Not that they've needed any second bidding to get attempts at goal in this game. Haven't taken enough of those chances. Here's Gordon on the far side, the Walsall left. Steers it infield to the centre circle, and McKenty, who opens it up on the right. And Riley with light red boots. Back to McKenty, rather sober, a grey pair. Kagbwe to his captain on the left of the centre circle, Daniels. Plenty of bodies forward again for Matt Sadler's team. As Daniels threads it through, Tierney, left side of the penalty area. Can he find a cross this time? No, it's been blocked behind. And it'll be a Walsall corner, first corner of the second half. Walsall 7th of the game. Yeah,
you mentioned, if Sheppey go chasing the game, but I think they've gone, the opposite way now. They seem to have just dropped back into, a defensive shape, and you can see the likes of the space that Donovan Daniels has got there just to work forward, and he's just got so much time to pick a pass there.
Corner was taken short, changes the angle. Tierney gets the cross in, and the header from James Taylor just clears the crossbar and behind. That was a neatly worked corner on the left-hand side between Tierney and Hutchinson. Got a good angle on the cross, and James Taylor didn't do too much wrong with the header.
Goalkeeper coach Dan Watson prides himself on the set-piece routines. I think we'd seen one away. I think it was at Wrexham as well that they'd worked on, not too long. And Chris Hussey scored on that night. And they do.
Well, they might have given it away on the edge of their own penalty area here. Sheppey. It comes for James Taylor. Sweeps it towards Tierney. Needed a bit more quality on that ball, and he's really bailed out Sheppey with that. Douglas James Taylor. Now here's McKenty on the right for Walsall, looking for the third goal that will give them that cushion that they really desire. The throw is taken quickly to Knowles. Clever header to get him down towards the corner flag. And he's going to win a throw, we'll presume, because that is in the area in front of the clubhouse where people are standing about a dozen deep. It's a really packed area in front of the snack bar. In fact, it's a defensive throw. Knowles thought he'd been pushed over. McKenty lifts it back up within 10 yards of the penalty area, and this time it will be Walsall ball as it's headed out by Wisson for a throw on the near side. We've had 12.5 minutes of the second half. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 2. The visitors coming from behind and taking the lead in the second half through a terrific strike from Tom Knowles. Now here's Daniels on the left-hand side for Stirk, who's been excellent in midfield. Stirk up towards the corner of the penalty area, through towards Tierney again. There's appeals for a flag, gets the cross in just too far in front of Knowles, and eventually is hooked away. Clearly there was no flag. Again, the assistant on the near side gets hidden in that corner from our view. Daniels probing forward again. He's been willing to do that today. He goes on the underlap looking for a return ball from Gordon. Instead he finds Tierney, flicks it on towards James Taylor. Good header away, only as far as Stirk, but Stirk hooks the shot wide, drags it low, and behind for a goal kick. In the middle of that, a brave header from Lekan Majoyegbe to get it away when James Taylor was trying to line up his second goal. But you sense again, look, the team that's favoured to win on a banana skin night, Matt Sadler has to be pleased with the intent, the amount of chances they created, and the fact they've played front foot football.
Yeah, he has to be, and I've got to say though, with the strength that the Sadlers have gone into this tonight, I know they can't make too many changes with the injuries that the Sadlers have currently got. You had to go strong for this one, and they have been fantastic on the night. They've been incredibly professional, and they've worked really hard to get themselves in front in this game.
And Sheppey have absolutely been a handful, and they have. Everything the club has done in the preparation for this game is a credit to them, and the performance of the team has been as well. Their first target would have been to get themselves a goal. They got themselves in front, still being level at half-time. That's why there was a smile on manager Eddie Batten's face when he was talking to the team in the interval. Stay in the game as long as you can. They're not out of it at 2-1 down by any stretch of the imagination. And at some point they will have to push more bodies forward. Throw here for their goal scorer. Bessie Saldana gets turned just inside his own half. Long ball forward by Morgan, well read by a Kagbwe. Awkward first touch, but recovers and stabs it to Riley on the right-hand side. Knowles working it infield, and Stirk does very well. Tierney initially does well to find Stirk, and now Stirk for Gordon, who's arriving at pace, demanding it out on the left. It's Hutchinson. Hutchinson left side of the box, and he creates an angle for a shot. Back to Gordon. Gordon hasn't got anywhere to go really other than back to McKenty. McKenty 30 yards out and central. Uses Riley. There's patience about Walsall here, having attacked with pace. Now they settle and try and find an opening. Appeals for handball against Gordon on the far side, largely from the younger voices in the crowd, it sounds like. And now it's out towards the byline. Gordon stands up across. Hutchison rises high, heads it down. Oh, and it's wide by Tierney. Well, that was a golden opportunity to make it 3-1. Tierney thinks that took a touch off somebody on the way. But you were expecting the back of the net to ripple there, and it didn't. Ross Tierney with the chance.
Yeah, it's a great move again from the Saddlers. Remain patient just to rework it. Joe Riley all the way back out over to Liam Gordon as he beats his man and dinks a lovely ball to the back post. Isaac Hutchinson doing the right thing, knocking it back down into the danger area and does really well. He's unfortunate, Ross Tierney, there. I thought the net was going to burst at that point.
Gone past the hour mark, 61 minutes gone now. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 2 on BBC Radio WM 5 Sports Extra and BBC Sounds. Kenty beaten in the air, appeals for offside against Willis, it's not given. Wisson holds the ball up on the right hand side for Leonard. Making a run inside him was Diallo. Leonard maintains possession but finds himself weaving back towards halfway. And it's then punted forward by Wilkins. Gordon almost misjudged that in the air, but gets a decent head on it. But it breaks for the home skipper Hamill out towards this near side, the left, and Morgan. Morgan flicks it further forward for Bessie Saldana. Gets himself turned to face up to his defender. On the overlap comes Hamill. Hamill with a cross, bit tight on goal and captured under the crossbar by Owen Evans. Had to make sure his footwork was right there. He makes a good claim. As you're listening on BBC Radio W, I remind you tomorrow, choice of commentaries at 3 o'clock. Sheffield United against Wolves on 95.6 FM. Blues Ipswich on DAB Digital in Birmingham. Albion against Hull on DAB Digital in the Black Country. FA Cup updates on Solihull Moors game at Bolton. And then on Sunday, 1:45 build-up for a 2 o'clock kick-off. Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa on BBC Radio WM. Lovely ball here from Gordon for Hutchinson. Left side of the penalty area. Vital challenge into dispossessor, but he's won it back just to the left of the 6-yard box. Hutchinson, tight angle, fires in a shot, saved by the keeper. Nobody there to get onto the second ball in a green shirt. And Sheppey are relieved to work it clear up towards Willis, who's muscled under the ball by Donovan Daniels. And the visitors will come again. We've just not got to get frustrated about getting this third goal, which could well put the tie away. Here's Riley. Left to Daniels. Daniels has Gordon hugging the touchline. Daniels goes himself up towards the edge of the area. And it's a beautiful finish by Tierney. Daniels poked it to the right of the penalty spot. And Tierney, in stride, has just steered it left-footed past the right hand of the keeper and given Walsall that cushion that they so wanted. 63 minutes the time of the goal. Tierney the scorer. Is Sheppey United 1, Walsall 3.
Got to say, it's a very aesthetically pleasing finish, that one, from where we are. Donovan Daniels just really well. I actually thought he'd overstepped it there, overrun the ball, and he does really well just to sort of take it inside. And, you know, the pass into the path of Ross Tierney, just runs onto it, wraps his left foot around it, wrong foots the goalkeeper. The Saddlers have a third, and, you know, the pressure and the possession taking its toll now on Sheppey, and, you know, well done from the Saddlers to get a third goal.
Tierney on loan from Motherwell gets his second goal of the season. If I remember rightly, his first was in the League Cup tie at Blackburn.
It was.
So he's a bit like Douglas James Taylor. He gets his goals in cup competitions.
That was another well-worked goal, actually. Donovan Daniels involved in that one. He played a long ball over to Joe Folks on the right-hand side, and then he just cut it back to Ross, who just, again, stroked it into the bottom corner, but that time on the night with his right foot.
Matt Sadler will reach that point soon where he starts thinking about changes, but you don't want to disrupt the flow and the rhythm of the game too much, because Walsall have been very creative throughout here. As Tierney misjudges his leap, and then an awkward header from Morgan that's left his ears ringing. Quick throw though is straight at Wisson, who intercepts and gives it back to Hamill. Back to Wisson. Walsall are closing the ball down very quickly as well, pressing high. Back to Majay Egbe. His clearance, well, it was miscontrolled by McKenty, but then Bessie Saldana's run all the way around the ball and McKenty still got it. Knowles looking to burst in between two, threads it back for the score of the third Walsall goal, Tierney. Back towards halfway. And here's Daniels again coming forward with purpose, but he's played it straight to Diallo. He gets away from Hutchinson, had a bit of a tug of the shirt there. The referee didn't see any problem with that, and then Hutchinson goes down under challenge from Mamadou Diallo, and the free kick goes that way. Second change going to be made by Sheppey United now. Eddie Batten is going to take Danny Leonard off at this point. And looking at the green over on the far side, looks like it's number 19 who's coming on, which will be Dejon Spencer. Looks like it'll be a couple of changes potentially. Spencer is certainly looks like he's one of them. And what's the other change going to be? It's taken a while. Fourth official with the board. Looks like he's ready to call the bingo numbers right there. What's going on? There are two players lined up to come on. I don't think I've got that bit wrong. And the other one, Wisson, is coming off. Joshua Wisson, and he's going to be replaced by number 17, isn't it? Malik Morris.
Sheppey substitution, number 7, Danny Leonard, being replaced by number 19, Dejon Spencer.
See whether the guy on the tunnel has spotted its two changes or not, but it is the two of them. So Morris and Spencer come on for Wisson and Leonard. And on a night like this as well, Sheppey will want all of their regular senior players to have a taste of FA Cup first round night. TV cameras in, capacity crowd, expecting around 1,400, which will be a new record in this ground. Record attendance 1,282 for a game against Tower Hamlets, which sealed promotion a few years back. Got nearly that many, 47 less than that for the fourth qualifying round replay against Billericay a few weeks back, which set up this tie, which they led for 11 tantalising minutes. Only now Walsall have a 2-goal margin. McKenzie with his poorest ball of the day. He fires it out of play for a throw. Just a question now, Tom, is whether Sheppey have got the energy and the guile to try and build their way back into this.
Yeah, it's one of them where, like you say, do you go chasing the 2 goals? You try and get yourself back into it. You know, they've seemed to have sat off almost, and you know, they continue to try and play their game, but the Saddlers just keep going through the gears. You know, they haven't let up, and I like that. I like the fact that, you know, whilst you've got yourself to 3 goals, you're 2 goals ahead now, they haven't stopped doing what they're doing. They haven't dropped that intensity, and I think that's, you know, congratulations to the professionalism of Matt Sadler's group, because you've got to take these games seriously, and they have done so.
Here's Riley on the right-hand side, gives it back to McKenty. And now Akagbe on halfway, forward towards Sturck, who's really been the boss of midfield today. And again, look, you would argue, if you look at it from a Sheppey point of view, ought to be, really. The League Two players ought to have the ability to boss a game like this, but cup football rarely works smoothly. Hutchinson, a rare loose ball from him, and they look to thread it forward early for Willis. Evans is quickly outside his penalty area. Is he underhit that ball for Akagbe? Well, Akagbe helps him out by getting the ball rapidly, and then a collision of sorts over on the far side between Spencer and Hutchinson. Goes out of play for a Sheppey throw. And Morris giving it away to Tierney. That wasn't a great tackle on Tierney by Diallo. The referee's going to give a free kick there, and there might have been an advantage down the left-hand side, but Tierney twisted and fell slightly awkwardly there. It'd be a relief to see him get back up. He's just down on his haunches for a moment. That was an untidy challenge. Probably the only poor challenge we've seen in the match, actually.
Yeah, there was the one in the first half from Douglas James Taylor that was late. It wasn't particularly poor, but you know, it hasn't been one of those games. It hasn't been a feisty affair. You know, it's been enjoyed by both sets of supporters, both sets of players, hopefully both managers as well. And you know, we spoke about it at length in the first half, Richard, about, you know, it's been a fantastic cup tie, and it continues to be that.
Sturck hung a long ball forward from the free kick. Daniel's header has gone out towards the corner flag. McKenty has shown some determination to try and keep it in, but although he's able to wrap himself around the body of the defender, when he gets his right boot to the ball, it drifts harmlessly out of play for a goal kick. Into the final quarter of the game, just over 20 minutes to go. In the other FA Cup tie tonight, Barnsley have come from behind to lead Horsham 3-2. That's been a ding-dong battle, and Di Sereva, he's got the goal, or trying to hear around the line at the moment, but nonetheless, it's Barnsley back in front. So that sounds like that's been a proper cup tie as well. First round proper. He's living up to expectations in the first 2 games tonight. As this is 1-2 played here between Riley and James Taylor. If Riley can get to the return ball, it might be slightly too strong. Does the defender get a touch before it goes over the line? He does. And he rather confesses to it as he ducks his head and strolls back, Morgan, to defend this situation. So corner number 8 for the Saddlers. Firstly, by process of elimination, because I can't see the corner taker, I'm trying to work out who's missing to be taking it.
I think it's Tierney.
Got to be Tierney, hasn't it? Because Sturck's deep. It's low towards the near post. It rattles through the penalty area, cleared out to the near side. Great pace from Knowles to get onto the ball. His cross is blocked behind, and it'll be another corner, which Sturck this time will come across to take.
Tom Knowles has been good this evening as well, and like you say, you would expect the type of players that are 4 divisions, higher up to be able to control the game. But I think Knowles has been superb and got the goal to show for it as well.
Before the game, talking about the fact that his pace could be absolutely crucial on an artificial surface like this, and he's shown that. Very spread, the Walsall shirts inside this penalty area for another deep corner, again looking for McKenzie, heads it down, and it's turned over the bar by Douglas James Taylor, who, considering he was in the 6-yard box, had more time than he could possibly have realised. Really should have finished the game off there.
Yeah, he should have, and I think he perhaps had space to turn on that and let the ball drop just even more. There wasn't any pressure on him at all, so much so that he was able to take the initial touch. And McKenzie again showcasing what he can do inside the opposition box from a set piece, and the Saddlers would probably feel I should have had a 4th there.
If he'd mishit it, he probably would have scored. That's the curious thing about it, a miscue, and probably tucks it past the keeper. Throw over on the far side for the Saddlers, which Gordon will take 10-12 yards inside the Sheppey half. Hutchison prods it down the touchline, headed away, flicked on the far side by Lambert, and now Diallo looking to play it out of defence. One back by Walsall though, and here's Gordon. Gordon beats one, rolls it in field for Sturck. Sturck didn't manage to take the ball with him. It breaks for Tierney instead. Tierney to his left, Hutchison left side of the box. The queue of players in there who tries to cross it for Douglas James Taylor, but Madre Egby does really well to make sure that he wins that ball, and it's cleared downfield by Morgan, the left back, up towards halfway. Kagwe scrapping in the air, and that goes out of play, flush off the head of Alex Willis, despite his protests. And Walsall take the throw pretty quickly, considering they've got a 3-1 lead to protect, and we've got 17 minutes of normal time left on BBC Radio WM, BBC Sounds, and 5 Sports Extra. Sheppey United, the lowest ranked side left in the FA Cup, 1. Walsall of League 2, 3. But Sheppey led for 11 first half minutes. Here's Knowles at pace again, cutting in for the right hand side towards the edge of the area. He took a heavy touch, and across to judge it perfectly is Hamill, the home skipper, who's had a very tidy game in midfield, and he looks to thread it through to Willis. Kagwe does enough to get there first, but also pulls up a little bit sharply there.
Yeah, I thought I thought he pulled his hamstring then, the way he didn't look particularly comfortable, did he?
No, with a bit of luck from the visitor's point of view, he might have just jarred himself as a cross comes in, and Willis was offside just as the home crowd were getting excited there. But on that occasion, I think he'd gone very early, Alex Willis. So a free kick to Walsall, just looking to see whether Matt Sadler's going to make any changes. He might feel that this team can see it through now. Hutchinson looking long down the left-hand side for Tierney. Clearance from Diallo wasn't great, and it's picked up by James Taylor. And now Sturck. Sturck gives it up to James Taylor. 25 yards out, looking to turn his man. Plays it behind his teammate. He had a pretty sharp first half and got the equaliser, Douglas James Taylor. The second half has been a bit more of a challenge for him. I wonder whether Danny Johnson might get a run before the end of this game, or Jamil Matt maybe. Here's Sturck looking out towards the left-hand side, and Gordon, his usual running mate down that flank. Hutchinson has taken up a position rather more in field, so he goes back to Daniels instead. Daniels looking for the run of Tierney with the cross, but he's miscued that, and he's sliced it out of play for a goal kick. There is some activity on the visitors' bench at the moment.
Brendan Comley by the looks of things. Perhaps Dave Akagbue just feeling that hamstring there. It looks as though they might make that change, and we might actually see McKenty drop back into that central defensive role and then play Brandon Comley in midfield. I think that would be the more sensible option to do.
Yeah, that could be the solution. Akagbue's got the ball now. We'll obviously see how he moves when he releases it. He looks not too bad at the moment, but if there is any thought, if he's just even feeling it as a hamstring, he might sense that with the injuries they've had in the centre-back positions, it's better to get him off the pitch. In the Championship, Leicester City 0, Leeds United 1. Could Leicester fall today? Jorginho Rutter has got the goal. Leicester have made that stunning start in the Championship, but behind against an improving Leeds as Daniels is tripped from behind. Free kick. And today we've seen when free kicks have been given or offences have been committed, quite often it's been an apologetic pick your opponent up and shake their hand, which was pretty much the case there after that challenge by Willis. Here comes the change for Walsall, and number 14 has gone up on the board, and there isn't a number 14, but Akagbue is certainly heading off, and the player who's coming on has been held up as number 22, and I don't think he's one of those either.
Substitution number 2, David Akagbue.
Actually, it's 14 who's coming on. He's got it all wrong with the board, hasn't he? So Brandon Comley does come on. Exactly as you predicted, Tom Heslop.
Yeah, it is. I think Oshin certainly offers you that option to go into centre half, and he's good enough to do both positions. And now it's about managing this game. I think Brandon Comley is exactly the type of player you'd want in this sort of situation, just to come on and settle the game down.
Here's Knowles, infield to Douglas James Taylor, holds it up nicely and then threads it back to Knowles, looking to attack the edge of the penalty area, left foot shot this time, may have taken a slight deflection, cleanly taken by the keeper in front of him, with Hutchinson waiting to pounce on any rebound, but none was forthcoming. They've won it back high up the pitch here with Knowles, and that takes a little deflection out of play for a Sadler's throw on the near side. The home side have still got one opportunity to make more changes, as it's threaded infield here for Riley, right side of the penalty area. Riley, oh dear, he created in the end what was a rather poor shot for himself, and Ross Tierney looks crestfallen in the middle, because I think he was sizing up a second goal. If he just rolled it infield, it would have been Tierney's to tuck home.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh, because I have to work with him, but I don't know what Joe Riley's thinking at that point. The ball just got away from him. He's seen his name up in the Sheppey lights there, getting a fourth goal for the Sadlers, but it's a poor effort from Joe Riley.
Well, he's never scored for Walsall, so that might have been part of it. It's 3-1. A fourth goal would surely finish it off. We've got 12 minutes of normal time left now, as Comley rolls it back to his keeper, Owen Evans. Wanting it out on the left-hand side was pulled out there. Hutchinson over there as the ball is through the inside right channel to James Taylor, gets it under control, dabbed back for Knowles, 10 yards inside the home half. Lovely ball out towards the far side for Tierney, gets down towards the corner flank. Diallo has come out to try and defend him, lays it back for Gordon driving in field, left-footed, tries to fire in a shot with the right, takes a deflection, and that goes behind for another Sadler's corner. Make that double figures, 10 that they've had in the game there.
Wow, I didn't think it was that in there.
Yeah, 10-2 the corner count.
Again, though, just allowing the likes of Liam Gordon to cut inside there and get a shot away, albeit a pretty lacklustre one. It results in a set piece, and Donovan Daniels going forward. I'm expecting to see him or Oshin McKenty get on the end of this one if it's a good delivery.
Stirk again raises the right arm, hangs it up, attacking it is Donovan Daniels, got a glancing header on it but not enough, and it's smuggled clear, and there could be a break on here, although it's delayed by the presence of Tierney, and Walsall win it back and nod it to the right hand side where Hutchinson is temporarily. Infield to McKenty, gets himself turned on the edge of the box. McKenty, I think he fancied a shot there, but it never quite sat kindly for him, so he gives it back to Daniels, and now Knowles. Hutchinson back to goal, 25 yards out. Nice little feet there from him. And then McKenty out towards the left-hand side. And Tierney. Comley, his first touch in the opposition half. Gets it back from Riley. Has space to get himself turned, and the game management has been excellent here from Walsall since that third goal. Stirk now out towards Gordon. If an opportunity presents itself, they'll try and take it. Otherwise, they'll try and maintain possession as we go into the final 10 minutes.
That's what you want, though, isn't it, from Matt Sadler's side? You want just to now relax on the ball. Don't try and force anything. You don't need to go and push for the fourth goal. And, you know, like you say, that game management's been superb, and it's just about working it from side to side, as the Sadlers are currently doing, just to try and wear the game down.
Sheppey are going to make at least one more change very shortly. They've got another substitute ready at the moment. There's Comley out to the left-hand side, and Tierney has Gordon outside him, gets it back instead low from Comley, and then just nudges it to his right for Riley. Riley through the inside right channel, getting turned is Hutchinson into the penalty area. Shot takes deflection and comes back outside the penalty area, hooked over his shoulder by Bessie Saldana. And now Daniels using his strength to hold off his man, and Tom Knowles plays a rather awkward looking back pass that Evans has to scuttle to the right side of his penalty area to pick up. A word of warning always in the cups like this is, Sheppey, well, I've got to believe if they could just sneak a goal in the next 7 or 8 minutes, it could yet be a grandstand finish, and the crowd would be part of that as well. They would go mad if they got a goal back here and gave themselves a chance. Stirk finds Comley. 29 attempts at goal, by the way, the current figure for Walsall. 14 on target. 3 attempts for the visitors, for the home side rather. Here's Hutchinson, good control. He looks eager to try and add his name to the score sheet. He's been bright and busy. There's good pace from Riley onto a ball from Knowles, right hand side, deep cross towards the far post. Keeper has it headed away by a teammate, might yet break for Hutchinson, shoots on the turn, blocked away by Wilkins, and now it should be walloped by the left foot of Hamill up towards halfway, won back by McKenty. Hutchinson trying to force his way into the penalty area, no way through this time, thought he should have a free kick, the referee having none of it, and now there should be a free kick against McKenty for a tug on a shirt. If it had been a free kick, it would have been a yellow card, surely. The referee does give it in the end, but McKenty gets away with what could have been a cautionable situation. And here comes another change for the home side.
Sheppey substitution. Connor Wilkins being replaced by number 2, Dan Birch.
Connor Wilkins is going to come off. I think he's had a very steady game at the back indeed, and he's going to be replaced by Dan Birch.
And number 12, Jacob Lambert.
And Jacob Lambert is also coming off. And he's going to be replaced by Oladipo Durawoju, who was released by Crystal Palace a short while ago, but I understand from one of the chaps working here that he's got a chance at another professional club to go on a 3-week trial soon, so the youngster has got another stab at league football, which would be a great opportunity for him. Here's Willis now on the left-hand side as Sheppey looked to create a late comeback. Left corner of the penalty area, teasing his man a little bit, but then runs into the challenger McKenty, who just waited to see if he was going to make his mind up and releases it downfield to Douglas James Taylor, who initially holds it up well, but in the end he's crowded out. And Majo Yegbe gives it back to the substitute Birch, who doesn't necessarily have the stature of your normal centre-back, but I think certainly a keenness from Ernie Batten to get more players on the pitch and give them an opportunity. I think Connor Wilkins has done pretty well at the back for Sheppey, in truth, Tom.
Yeah, he has, and I think, I don't think Sheppey have been particularly bad in this game. They've just had to set into their places, and they have done really well.
Sturt finds Hutchinson, left side of the penalty area, driving it again, turns it across the 6-yard box, but it won't reach Tierney, and it was too far in front of Douglas James Taylor. So as well as the almost 30 attempts at goal Walsall have had, they've had quite a few balls go through the box as well. One back again. Oh, the referee has rather belatedly given a free kick there against McKenty. He waited until Tierney had made about 15 yards of territory before he gave that. And that Sadler doesn't look entirely enamoured by the thought, but there we go.
Well, we mentioned substitutions earlier. I do wonder, if it does get down to, perhaps 5 minutes or so of stoppage time being announced, whether we could see the likes of Dylan Thomas come on for a historic appearance in a professional, game such as this. We saw him in the trophy, but could we see him in something like this?
Yeah, there could be some danger down the left-hand side as Morgan creates room for a cross. It's a decent deep cross. Daniel's header doesn't get any distance on it. Willis out towards the right side of the 6-yard box. Has support from Spencer. Morris behind Spencer if he wants to drag it back to him. Spencer, low cross into the penalty area. Still not cleanly away, but Walsall should be able to clear this time with Stirk. And on the left-hand side, James Taylor will chase. Birch will beat him to the ball. Puts good pressure on Birch and actually bundles into him and concedes a free kick. But, for all that the away team have controlled this second half, when Sheppey come forward, it can very quickly become heart-in-the-mouth time. Because a goal back here would lead to plenty of potential drama. We've got just over 4 minutes of normal time to go. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 3 on BBC Radio WM, 5 Sports Extra and via BBC Sounds. It's been a professional performance from the visitors and what was set up to be the perfect banana skin for them. It's this team from the Isthmian League South East Division in the first round for the first time ever, and who led in the first half through James Bessie Saldana's terrific strike. A couple of very good goals in this game. Tom Knowles, the one that put Walsall in front, and then a very neat finish by Ross Tierney for 3-1. Here's Knowles on the right-hand side, gives it back to Comley. Comley for Hutchinson. Again, just dragging more time out of the game, but plenty of movement. Here's Comley, short for Gordon. In the other FA Cup tie tonight up at Oakwell, Horsham have equalised 3-3 at Barnsley. As Walsall look for another, here is an opportunity for Douglas James Taylor. Good save by the keeper. Stirk blocked on the rebound. Hutchison can fire in at the third attempt. And looks like the goal will stand. There are appeals as to whether the ball was kicked out of the hand of the goalkeeper. But the referee says there was nothing wrong with it, and Isaac Hutchinson has got his goal with 3 minutes to go, and he surely puts this tie to bed. It's Sheppey United 1, Walsall 4.
Yeah, gets his reward for the hard work that he's put in all the way through the game, and I have to say it's a fantastic save initially from the goalkeeper just to deny Douglas James Taylor getting a second goal of the evening. But Isaac Hutchinson, right on the money, takes his time as he just sidesteps past the defender and then fires it into the empty net. And there's plenty of people asking the question, particularly from the Sheppey players, as to whether the goalkeeper had 2 hands on the ball, but I don't think he did, and I think it's the correct call. The Saddlers now 4-1 up in this game.
We don't have the benefit of replays, as you can imagine. They've done very well to accommodate us at all in this fabulous little non-league ground. But those of you seeing the pictures at home will have more idea as to whether that should have stood or not, but it does stand, and Isaac Hutchinson now has 7 goals for the season. Really has added that to his game this year. But Sheppey United looking to create. Morgan in the end falls over chasing a ball after a ricochet, and Oshie McKenty will start to work it clear. Riley with a neat turn was very aware of what was going on around him, and now Stirk out towards the left hand side. Mike Taylor back in our studio, who will be taking your calls on BBC Radio WM after the final whistle on 08081 00 9956. He says the goalkeeper might have a case there, that may well have had the ball under control. As Walsall prepare a triple change in the dying embers of this, with just over a minute of normal time to go. And it does look to me like Dylan Thomas may well be one of them. We were trying to find out, one of your colleagues was trying to determine whether he's still 16 or whether he's had his birthday yet. He was 16 when he played against Brighton under 21s. We didn't come up with a definitive answer, I don't think.
I'm going to say he's still, and I should know this, but I believe he is still 16 because our academy manager Rob Williams is desperate for us to mention him. And
yeah, as Hutchinson plays it across the edge of the penalty area, opportunity for Stirk to try and create. It ricochets out, and another chance for Hutchinson, who tops it this time and sweeps it wide.
Big moments as well coming off the bench now. Volin Meneyese as well, long road to recovery. He's been injured for an awful long time, both on loan last year and into this season for the Saddlers. So whilst he's only going to get a handful of minutes, it's a fantastic moment to see him back on the pitch as well.
Yeah, it's a crucial step on the ladder for him. He comes on for McKenty. Who else are we going to see?
Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson is coming on for Douglas James Taylor. So some of the
substitution
numbers on the board are, when they do these substitutions, actually have no comparison to what's on the team sheet, but there we go. And the other change, we'll see Tom Knowles come off, who's had a very good game, and on comes Dylan Thomas, who I am reliably informed is still 16. Oh, I'm now being told he's 17. Is he 17? Oh, 17 next month. 17 in December. Sorry, because back in the studio they're competing with the rather misfiring tannoy, which is loud and close to us, and we're now into 4 minutes of added time. Either that or Tom next to me was waving to me, but I think he was telling me.
I was telling you 4 minutes of additional time. Great moment this though for the academy. You know, we spoke about Sheppey having pathways of, you know, they've now got, you know, youngsters who are being offered opportunities to go back into the professional game as well, and it's great to see Dylan get on the pitch for this one. He's been with the first team all the way through pre-season. He's, you know, takes part in training most days as well, I would say, with Matt Sadler and the rest of the first team group, and it's great to see him in this moment, you know, get on the pitch in such a fantastic occasion for both sides.
He's short and he's fresh-faced, but he has got calves like Jack Grealish, Dylan Thomas. They are strong calves.
All I'm going to say is I'm glad to see he's got his socks on properly, though.
And he's just made an interception here and threads it forward on the right-hand side for Stirk. Back to Riley. And now Stirk, 35 yards out, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Danny Johnson trying to get turned away from his man, holds him off, gets in a shot, comfortable save for the keeper. But Danny Johnson, ever with an eye for goal, couldn't resist getting that shot in.
I think he's just desperate to get a shot away. You know, he's seen, you know, some of his teammates get on the score sheet this evening. I'm sure he'd be desperate to get a goal, but he's not got too much time to do so.
If you think some of the PA announcers here sound a bit ropey, nobody will have a clue what was just said there. I think he was slightly laughing as he tried to do it. I think he knows he's fighting a losing battle here. It's intermittent, let's put it that way. Walsall lead 4-1. We are 2 minutes into the 4 minutes of added time, and after falling behind in the 21st minute, since that point they've done a thoroughly professional job, but even at that point they'd already created 6 or 7 openings. Lovely ball here from Stirk out to the left hand side for Hutchinson, who's got one. He might go in quest for 2. Johnson wanted an early ball in. Hutchinson looking to open it up for himself, edge of the penalty area, fires it over the crossbar and behind. They've stayed hungry for goals throughout the match here.
They have, and Hutchinson doing exactly what he does in most games. He gets that ball, he drives inside and just tries to get his shot away, but unfortunately on that occasion just sort of ran into traffic and then chipped his shot up and over the goalkeeper. But I'll be interested, you know, to see who the ITV cameras of pictures and presenters of pictures their man of the match. For me, Ryan Stirk has been fantastic, but I think Sheppey's goalkeeper's been superb all evening.
The TV company, which he could desist from naming, but yeah, they have chosen the home keeper Aidan Prohl, without whom it would have been all over by half time. He made a series of terrific saves. He's made several really good ones in the second half as well. So it's very rare that you give man of the match to somebody on the losing team, but it's quite right on this occasion.
BBC's man of the match is the Sheppey goalkeeper.
You and I agree. Yeah, that's better. We'll get you trained up. It's angled by Morris out towards the far side. It hangs in the air, headed away by Liam Gordon, and they're still trying to surge forward here. He gets it back from Hutchinson. That's an excellent defensive challenge. Only he's won it back as Gordon, which is really frustrating for Hamill, who'd done so well. Barrel-chested figure, Hamill, but he's still got plenty of running in him. The Sheppey captain, 29 years of age. He's probably been as good as any of their outfield players today. Just his reading of the game is very good. But after that lead was given to the home side, a terrific goal from James Bessie Saldana. Douglas James Taylor, the equaliser in the second half. Tom Knowles, Ross Tierney, and then Isaac Hutchinson have put the game away, and they look for more. Hutchinson down the left-hand side, backfill towards Tierney. It's stabbed away. We're into added time, at the end of added time now. We're into the 5th minute of it. Here's Comley. Comley, inside left, just steers it out towards Gordon. Gordon for Hutchinson. Are they ready to just see out the final seconds here? Walsall, maybe. The referee isn't checking his watch just yet. So here comes Menayese getting a touch. Now here's Riley. Riley driving forward, flicks it to his right for Stirk. Johnson looking to find room to get a turn and a shot in. That's blocked away. And out of play on the far side. This is the time really for the triple substitution for Walsall, but that is enough. Sheppey United's fairy tale run to the FA Cup first round proper for the first time in their 133-year history. Looked like it might have even more distance to run when they took the lead in the first half, but in the end, League Two side Walsall have shown some quality. They were positive throughout. They created an awful lot of chances, and in the end, they put enough of them away to be quite comfortable in the end. They've won here by 4 goals to 1. Heslop, though, that was a proper good and enjoyable cup time.
It certainly was, and it's exactly what you'd want from it from both sets of supporters, both players, managers. Everybody involved in this has been, will have thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been a fantastic game. It's been a fantastic occasion. I'd like to thank Sheppey for welcoming us with so open arms here, and I really hope they've enjoyed this one as much as we have, because that was absolutely fantastic.
Smashing Football Club here. We wish them all the success for the future, but full time at home park. Sheppey United 1, Walsall 4.
Well, we don't get many games, Richard, where we get to the end of it and say, well, both teams have got something really to be excited about from this, in that clearly it's an enormous achievement for Sheppey, not only to get to this stage, but to put on the game at their own ground and go to all the trouble of doing that, make everybody feel welcome and make it go off well, as it obviously has. And Walsall have got what they wanted, because not only have they won, but they've won well. 36 shots, I think, gives an impression as to what the game was like. So actually, you don't often get games where everybody goes home happy, but I'd like to think everybody will tonight.
Yeah, and when you look at the way that this club is run here, by the way, the money that they've earned with the TV fee and the big attendance and the travelling supporters, and what they'll take in the snack bar as well, which was very, very popular before the game, then they will reinvest it and they will use it wisely to continue building their club. And that has to be the way that these things happen. They've had their big day. For them, they couldn't lose, really. Their achievement was getting to the first round proper for the first time, and then making a really good account of themselves, putting themselves in front in the game, and at that point you really fancied the upset was on. Now, credit to Walsall for dealing with it. Everybody will come away with smiles. There'll be a lot of handshakes here, and Walsall will be very relieved to turn in the sort of performance they did. But when you have more than 30 attempts at goal in a game like this, then you've actually done yourself a pretty good credit. I know it'd be easy for Walsall fans to say, well, they should win a tie like that, and of course that's true, but doing it in the sort of style that they did in the end is pretty admirable.
Yeah, very good stuff all round, and an enjoyable listen as well from Richard and Tom Heslop there in Kent. Sheppey 1, Walsall 4, and this is BBC Radio WM Sport with you until 10 o'clock, so there's a little bit of time.